What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is James from CopLogic, and this is your match preview for Liverpool versus Burnley in the Premier League. It is match day 24 of 38. We're getting to the tail end now of the Premier League. This is normally the time of year where you start to see teams solidify their places in the Premier League, where they're going to be towards the end. Interestingly, though, this year it is still absolutely wide open at the top, as we know. Still kind of a three-horse race. Hopefully, we can change that, and it starts with this game. So we are at home at Anfield, and it's a 3 p.m. kickoff. So Liverpool have won 8 of the last 10 games versus Burnley, winning the last 4 in a row with an aggregate score of 8-0, so it works out like 2-0 a game basically. And also a very promising stat for Liverpool. You would expect them to win this game, to be honest with you. If you take a look at the Opta stats down below, Liverpool with an 83% win percentage, draw at 11%, and Burnley only at 6%. I think this might be the biggest, most dominant Liverpool win percentage we've seen so far from Opta all season. So Liverpool absolutely expected to win this game, and they absolutely have to win this game, especially obviously with what happened at Arsenal, not just the loss but the bad performance overall. We're expecting the lads to come out and sort of send a message to the fans, to the rest of the league, that we are still here. It was a little bit of a blip, not going to happen again. Don't be worrying about that. In terms of Burnley, they've won only 1 of their last 9 games away from home to Liverpool, which was a 1-0 victory in 2021. Again, very promising stats for Liverpool. One caveat I will say as well about the whole Burnley-Liverpool thing is they used to be a bit of an annoying team under Sean Dyche. You know, Burnley and Sean Dyche was prime Dyche ball, and it did give us difficulties, but obviously that's totally changed now under Vincent Kompany, and I think, you know, he plays positive football, but they're just not good enough for the Premier League, and I think that's what leaves them wide open. I think that's why they're losing game after game after game. On the one hand, you can say that it's brave and bold of Vincent Kompany to come and play his football in the Premier League, but on the other hand, you can also say it's naive that he has decided not to change his system. You know, if you look at the teams that typically get promoted, the stats are there to say that most teams that get promoted also get demoted in the same year. And that's especially true if they don't change and adapt their system to the Premier League from the Championship. So for me, I think it's actually just a little bit naive of Vincent Kompany to think he can come up and play exactly the same way. Some people say that it's brave, but you know, he's the one that's going to get relegated, so who's right? Liverpool, despite our loss to Arsenal, are unbeaten in the last 23 games at home since October 2022. And, you know, even with that loss against Arsenal, basically, we've lost 1 game all season, because I'm not counting the Tottenham game, as you already know. So yeah, 1 loss all season. Liverpool, we're still in fine form, and we just need to bounce back with this Burnley game and show the rest of the Premier League that we haven't gone anywhere. So before we get into a score prediction, I'm going to run you through my team selection for Liverpool versus Burnley at Anfield. Starting with the goalkeeper, obviously Alisson Becker. The 2 centre-backs, I'm going Virgil van Dijk and Jarell Quansah. Obviously Ibrahima Konate on the red card there, so he can't play. One thing I will say about this is, if you watched Jurgen Klopp's press conference today, when he was asked about Ibrahima Konate, first of all, oddly, he didn't even mention the fact that there was the red card suspension, which there is. But he said something along the lines of, there's a lot of flu running through the camp at the moment, so he's not really sure which players are going to be able to play and which aren't, and we'll have to wait and see. And I found it odd that he mentioned that whilst talking about Konate. I'm unsure whether that alludes to the fact that either, you know, maybe Virgil or maybe Jarell Quansah is one of the players suffering with flu, and he's not sure whether they're going to be able to play. I don't really know where that leaves us. Maybe it leaves us with a Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk partnership, if that's the case. But honestly, I'm just speculating at the moment. So I'm going to assume that nobody has the flu, even though it sounds like everybody does. And with that in mind, I would say he's going to go with Virgil van Dijk and Jarell Quansah. At right back, I'm going Trent Alexander-Arnold. Conor Bradley, it doesn't look like has returned to training since the family bereavement. So, you know, that's fine. Obviously not expecting him to play if he hasn't trained, so it's definitely got to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. I've seen some people say that maybe Trent could play up in the midfield now with Dominic Szoboszlai being out due to injury. But, you know, I just think at the moment, let's play it safe. We just lost the game to Arsenal. Let's go back to what we know. Conor Bradley's not available, so we're going to put Trent in at right back. At left back, I am going Andrew Robertson. A return for Andrew Robertson to the first team. Obviously, a start for Andrew Robertson. Last time I put Joe Gomez in against Arsenal because I just felt like he deserved it. He's been playing really well, but, you know, at some point he's got to have a rest, and at some point we've got to get Robbo back used to starting games at least. Maybe he doesn't play the 90 minutes, maybe Gomez does come on, but let's get him his Premier League start again since his return. And what I will say is this is Burnley, so, you know, I think we can afford to use this game as maybe a little bit of a bedding game for Andrew Robertson. If it all goes wrong, stick Joe Gomez back on, but Joe Gomez is due a rest. Let's not forget that he has been an injury-prone player for the last few seasons. Despite how amazing he's been this season, let's play things carefully and give Joe Gomez a little bit of a rest. Similarly to Andrew Robertson, I'm playing Wataru Endo in the defensive midfield slot. Now, Alexis McAllister obviously has been amazing in that position, but Endo is back from his Asian Cup duties. He's had a few days of training now. He should be available for selection, and I think it's important that at some point we get him back in the team, we get him back up to speed with the Premier League. I don't know if you guys watched his games with Japan. He did play really well, so I've got no issues there, but obviously international football is nowhere near the same level as club football, so he might need a little bit of time to get himself back up to speed with the Premier League, and I think Burnley is the perfect game for that, so that's why I'm picking Wataru Endo, and it's also why I'm picking Andrew Robertson. For the other two midfield slots, with Dominic Szoboszlai out, I'm gonna put Alexis McAllister in a more advanced position. Let's see what he can offer us there. I mean, we know he's capable of it. He was doing it at Brighton all the time. He's played a lot as the defensive midfield option for Liverpool for one reason or another, but we know he can do a job up there, and with Dominic Szoboszlai out, he's gonna have to. Obviously, Thiago Alcantara has picked up another injury after a massive mammoth 13 minutes of playtime for Liverpool so far this season, so he's out for probably the rest of the season. There's rumours it's a hamstring injury. Jurgen Klopp was very coy about it today, didn't really want to say much, but I think it's probably the last we've seen of Thiago Alcantara, to be honest. He certainly won't extend his contract, so I think his career is finished at Liverpool, but let's wait and see. So I'm going to go Curtis Jones on the left side. I think he's been playing really well this season, got no issues with that. I think he is part of our current strongest midfield, so yeah, Curtis Jones for me. And then we move on to the forwards, which are kind of interesting. So Mo Salah is expected to return to team training next week, so he definitely won't be available. So with that in mind, let's go with this front three: Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, and Diogo Jota. I don't think Cody Gakpo did himself any favors against Arsenal, if I'm being honest. Might sound a little bit harsh, but he's gonna be the one that sits this one out for me. Diogo Jota, obviously in amazing form, and I've got some interesting stats about Darwin Núñez I want to mention, actually. So yeah, I'm going, obviously, this is the lineup I'm going with. Jurgen Klopp probably will not go with this one because he for some... I don't get it, because I think this is the best formation for the three of them. I've spoke before about how good I think the Diogo Jota on the right side is with the link up with Darwin Núñez down the middle, but yeah, I'm not Jurgen Klopp, so let's see what he does, but that is what I would do. Now, just on Darwin Núñez, because obviously some people might be wondering why I've selected him. I think it's fairly obvious that he is one of our most effective attackers this season in terms of his output, in terms of what he does for other players on the pitch, the gaps he opens up, whatever. But I say that every week. I feel like I want to come with a few stats here that I noticed this week that I think are very interesting. So Darwin Núñez, first of all, has had more shots than any other player so far this season. That's across the entire Premier League. He's had 73 shots, which is by far and away the most shots of any other player. And you might say that's all well and good, but he needs to start scoring them. And I do agree with that sentiment. However, very interestingly, another little stat for you, only Mohamed Salah has had more shots on target than Darwin Núñez. So Mo Salah's had 33 shots on target so far this season. Darwin Núñez has had 32 shots on target. Now that's across the entire Premier League. So that includes your Erling Haalands, that includes, I don't know, your Isaacs, your Ollie Watkins, your Hoylands, like whoever. That's the entire Premier League. Only Mo Salah has had more shots on target than Darwin Núñez. So whilst people think that Darwin Núñez misses every shot he takes, it's not actually true because of the volume of shots. Don't forget, Darwin Núñez has had the most shots across the entire league this season. Because of the volume, I think people notice the misses more. But actually, when you look at the shots on target statistics, he's only one behind Mo Salah, who is top of the table. So Núñez is actually getting his shots on target. He's just been genuinely really unlucky this season with some absolute worldy performances from certain keepers that, you know, just seem to pull it out the bag whenever the Darwin Núñez is in front of them. It's kind of crazy, but at some point, surely that's got to turn around. You know, these statistics, I think, speak for themselves. If he was missing every shot, then you have to hold your hands up and say, what is he doing? But he's not missing every shot. He's only one shot behind Mo Salah's statistic for shots on target this season. He just needs to get that little bit of fortune and have them start going in. And then honestly, we could see an absolute monster in Darwin Núñez over the next few seasons. So fingers crossed for that one. But that's why I'm starting him, because he's got to bag a few goals sooner or later, and that's going to get his confidence up, and that's good for everyone. So that's my team selection for this one. Let's talk about my results prediction. An interesting thing with Burnley, obviously everyone knows that they're absolutely terrible this season. I mean, they are basically one of, if not the worst team in the Premier League this season. I think that's actually a little bit harsh, because it is respectable that they're playing good football. They're just not anywhere near the level of the Premier League. Even though they're absolutely terrible and they lose basically every game, the results, if you actually look through them, it's like they lose games 2-0, 1-0, 3-2. So they're actually very tight. They're not getting absolutely demolished and blown away. So this could not necessarily go the way people are expecting. When you look at those Opta stats, you're expecting Liverpool to absolutely batter Burnley. That may not be the case, because they don't tend to lose by massive margins this season. They just tend to lose. You know, that is the one constant, is they are not very good at picking up wins on the road. In fact, they're not very good at picking up wins at all. But yeah, normally close games. So with all of that in mind, I'm going to ignore all of it, and my prediction is Liverpool 4, Burnley 1. I just think and really hope at some point Darwin Núñez gets that fortune, starts banging in the goals. Diogo Jota's in fine form as well. And you know what, Luis Diaz has been playing well as well. If we just discredit that Arsenal game because everyone had a bad day, you would expect goals. You could expect goals from all over the place, to be honest. I mean, even Wataru Endo was either assisting or scoring for Japan as well. So we've got Alexis McAllister back in that advanced position. We've seen what he can do when he's there, that absolute screamer, that goal of the month a few months ago. So you never know. This could be an absolute demolishment of Burnley Football Club. Let's wait and see, but my prediction is 4-1. As always, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Get your score predictions in, and don't forget to like the video if you are enjoying the content, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because we will be keeping you guys up to date with everything going on through this season. New managers, new sporting directors, new players in the summer transfer window. It's all going to be happening, and we're going to be keeping you guys up to date right here on this channel. So get your subscription in, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.